Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We are here tonight with Layla, who is celebrating her bat mitzvah this weekend. So Layla will be leading some of our services tonight, and I couldn't be happier. Layla was one of our slice leaders. That's our team-led service for 2nd through 6th graders, and Layla was a service leader then and a service leader now. So I'm so glad you're here. Mazel Tov. How are you feeling tonight?
Thank you. I'm feeling really good. What about you?
Good. Thanks for asking. Yeah, well, Shabbat Shalom, family. And
Shabbat Shalom.
You're welcome to turn off your video now, and I'll cue you when to turn it on for the Shema.
Okay.
In a bit. Okay. Shabbat Shalom to everybody joining us on YouTube, to Nathan and Jennifer and Al. I'll invite you to follow along with our service online. If you don't have a Siddur Lev Shalem that we're using tonight, the online version can be found at sinaitemple.org under the Schedule and Resources tab. Close that door, please. We'll begin together with Yedid Nefesh on page 10. Shabbat Shalom, Moma. Shabbat Shalom, Sophie. Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Meshoch Avdach El Ritzonach Yarut Avdach Gemo Poaya Shabbat Shalom Yochev and Eldon. Shabbat Shalom Steph. Yes, Sophie, I know your name because it says Sophie Kohanim next to your comment. So that's how I knew to wish you, Sophie, a Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue together with Lechuna Ranana on page 11. Oh, JK, that's funny. Yeah. Lechuna Ranana Ladonai Naria Letzuri Sheinu Vekama Fanav Betodah Mizmirod Naria Lo Arba'im Shana Aku bedor Va'omar am to'e levavheim Veheim lo yadu derachai Asher nishpati me'api Im yevohu el menuchati. We're on page 13. Shiru ladonai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladonai Baruchu Shemo Masru Miyom Leyom Yeshuato Sapru Vagoyim Shabbat Shalom, Regina. Shabbat Shalom, Soraya. Good to see you, and Shabbat Shalom to Isaac, too. We'll continue together on page 15. Adonai Malach Tagil Haaretz. Ohavei Adonai Sinura Shomer Nafshot Chasidav Me'an Reshayim Yatzileim Or Zaruat Latzadi O Yisrael Simcha Simchu Tzadikim Adonai Vehodu Lezecher Kodsho Mizmor Shir Adonai Shir Hadash Ki Niflau Katal Kochi Alo Yemino Uzero Akosho Dinya Adonai Yeshuato Ve'enei Hagoyim Kilatzikato Zachar Kasto Emunato Levet Yisrael Ra'u Kol Afsei Haaretz Et Yeshuot Eloheinu Ariu Ladonai Kol Haaretz Vitchu Veranenu Vezameru Zamru Ladonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra Bechatzotzrot Vekol Shofar Ariu Lifnei HaMelech Adonai Hiram Hayam Mulo Tevel Ve'Hoshveiva Neharot Imchaucha Yachad Harim Raneinu Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishmon Haaretz Yishmor Tevel B'tzedek Be'amim Be'mesharim Yanai 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 Shabbat Shalom, Coach Yek Tafar. Shabbat Shalom, Sharona. I'm so glad you are all here with us tonight. Page 19. Adonai Malach Yirgezu Amin. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu Vishtachavu lehar kodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Page 21, please rise. Mizmor leDavid Amul Adonai b'nei Eli Amul Adonai Kavod ba'oz Yainai Amul Adonai Kevod Shemo Yishtachar continue together with Lachadodi. Sophie, to answer your question, I imagine Cantor Feldman is at home enjoying Shabbat dinner with his family. We continue together Lachadodi, page 23.
Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת לתחילה. לך אדוני, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, בראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך אדוני, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. במקדש מלך ירמלו לך, קומיצי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבת במקבך, והוא יחמו עלי יתמלה. לך אדוני, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
I'll invite you to rise, and you can turn to a door in your house, and you can even open it and welcome Shabbat into your house. And if you are nowhere near your door, or you would rather not get up from your computer, I invite you to close your eyes and open your heart and let Shabbat into your soul.
בואי ושלום עטרת בא לך, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך אדוני, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We'll turn to page 28, and we'll sing the last few lines of the psalm for Shabbat together, Tzadik Katamar. Tzadik Katamar, Yifrach keres bavanon, yizke shetulim, mevet We take a moment to remember those who are no longer with us. We are thankful to God for the gift of their lives and the cherished memories which endure. Today has been the 4th of Kislev, on which we recalled the Ortites of Sylvia Barenfeld, Yuna Gabayan, Eric Hershowitz, Violet Kiamad, Morey Lamshaw, Huguet Nadjar, Elsa Gottsman Neiman, Rose Phillips, Jack Rakow, Norman Tyre, and Bill Weinberg. This week we mourn Nadia Pakaravan, who passed away on the 12th of November, wife of Korsrow and mother of Eric, Shayna, Mark, and Michelle. We also mourn the passing of David Matthew Kaufman, brother of Mindy Weiner, uncle of Rocky, Carly, and Jason Weiner, who passed away on November 19th. Also on the 19th, we mark the passing of Ruth Perlmutter, wife of Abraham Perlmutter, mother of Michael, David, Dr. Sharon Perlmutter Gavin, and Dr. Karen Perlmutter. Grandmother of Zachary and Rachel, Emily and Josh, and Alex. We also mourn the passing of Dr. Eugene Osher, who passed away on the 18th of November, husband of Carol Osher and father of Bill, Bob, and Linda. This week, for the 5th through 11th of Kislev, we mark the Yortzites of Heron Aronson, Helen Applebaum, Ibrahim Benaf Sheha, Abraham Barenfeld, David Bassan, Ralph Bedrock, Herbert Bernstein, Judith Bochner, Sophie Cohen, Samuel Cohen, Seymour Cohen, I.K. Cosgrove, Sarah Davis, Malik Taj Eslamboli, Parvis Eslamboli, Eliyahu Habib Famili, Sylvia Fields, Minnie Gold, Joan Goldman, Lillian Goose, Marsha Grace, Fanny Greenberg, Jack Broner, Alan Chaim, Yosef Halaban, Yecheskel Hanasab, Louisette Hariri, Luana Horwitz, Walter Janoff, Dariush Jananshir Rachamim, Lester Joseph, Philip Kahan, Sally Katz, Minna Noble Kawa, Rosalind Kriesel, Emmanuel Kriesel, Bathsheba Lavi, Samuel Liederman, Henry Levin, David Lipsky, Lynn Lipson, Milton Lubin, Mervyn Mandelbaum, David Marvisi, Ben Mayeri, Farouk Moret, Alan Morgenstein, Jacob Moss, Parviz Nasrin, Heshmat Nasi, Walter Peters, Floret Phillips, Marion Porter, Chaya Devora Potachnik, Ledutla Rahimzadeh, Lawrence Rickles, Beatrice Rosenthal, Hilda Rothschild, Leon Schaefer, H. Robin Schneer, Sarah Schwartz, Sarah Selwyn, Pauline Schontfeld, David Shepard, Sarah Sherman, Louis Siegel, Jacob Siegel, Albert Silvera, Roger Silverman, Mokhtaram Sina, Ina Citroop, Isaac Skloop, Alvin Slavkin, Lou Slod, Hazel Sommer, Hilda Spurtis, Estelle Stein, Edith Ortelik Sternberg, Garen Todd, Philip Tupper, Leon Wallace, David Waxler, Adolf Weinberg, Arthur Weisberg, Joseph Whitman, Huri Yeshurun, Nasian Unai, Jag Zimmerman. We also mark the passing of Rachel Leah, the mother of Sharon Gavin. In our chat, I see Nathan, you're saying Kaddish for Mayor Ben Natan and Coach Yiktafar for Shaheen Bat Naftali. I'll invite all those in a period of mourning to rise, and we'll say the words of the mourners Kaddish together on page 30. Yitz Gadal ve'yitz Kadash Shmei Rabbah ve'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute v'chaye echon uvyom echon uvchaye chobei Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei almayam yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitzma'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnatsei Vital Hadar Veitale Vitalal Shmei de Kudsha Brichu Laela Minko Birchata Vishirata Tush Bechata Vinechamata Namiran Be'alma Vimru Amen Yehi Shlama Rabbah Minshmaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Hoseh Shalom B'Romav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru. Amen. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Before we continue with our evening service, a few words of Torah. Sophie, in our chat, yes, I will tell Cantor Feldman, you said hello. I'm so glad you're learning with him. I want to talk tonight about kaf zchut and a rabbinic commandment that says Dan et chavero bekaf zchut. You should judge your fellow with a little bit of merit, with more merit than not. I.e., you should see the best in others and always assume the best in others. What does this look like? I think we've talked about this before. The example I love using is if you're driving and you get cut off while you're driving, you don't think to yourself, oh, that person is such, is a terrible person. No, you think to yourself, maybe that person is a doctor on her way to the hospital to deliver a child. Maybe that person is in a rush to get home to help his sick children. Something like that. It's really hard to do that. And the reason I want to bring it up tonight is because in the traditional rabbinic read of this week's Torah portion, we have a great example of judging one's fellow with merit. And we have a great example of when we fail to do so. And I'll tell you what I mean. This week, our Torah portion begins with Isaac and Rebekah giving birth to Jacob and Esau. And shortly after we hear of Jacob and Esau's birth, we're told of a particular situation where Esau is hunting in a field, comes back to the tent famished, finds Jacob, who's cooking a pot of lentils, and asks his brother for some of the food. Well, Jacob tells him, you can have some of this, but you have to sell me your birthright. You have to give me the firstborn inheritance. Yeah, I was the secondborn, but if you want any of my soup, you gotta give me your birthright. And Esau sells him the birthright for some lentil soup. I hope it was delicious lentil soup. And he left, and Jacob got the birthright. Now, our rabbis judge Jacob in the most positive light possible. Jacob is not tricking Esau. No, Jacob deserved this birthright. Jacob was making this lentil soup, our Midrash says, because this was Abraham's death. Abraham had died, his grandfather, the first Jew. And Jacob was marking it, and he had this lentil soup. Esau, on the other hand, our rabbis teach, why was he so tired coming in from the field? It was because he was out murdering, they say. That's what they say. That's what our Midrash says about Esau. Now, this is what I mean when I say our tradition does a great job of judging Jacob in the light of merit and not such a good job judging Esau. In our Midrash and the classic commentaries, we work very hard to see the worst in Esau. He's a murderer. He is out, defiling God's creations. That's Esau. Jacob deserves it. But I want to mention this because I think our community of enlightened 21st century Jews does a great job rediscovering Esau and reading his story, bekaf zchut, with a little bit of merit. In the Torah itself, we don't hear about Esau murdering. We don't hear about Esau going out and being a terrible person. He's just Jacob's brother. He's an outdoorsy kind of guy, not necessarily a bad guy. And so I want to share with you a different read of this situation, one that judges, I think, both Jacob and Esau with a little bit of merit. When this story happens, the very next line says that there was an intense famine in the land of Canaan. And if there's a famine in the land of Canaan, then everybody's hungry. Nobody has food. Jacob, for some reason, has some lentils that he saved, and he's made himself some food. Jacob might be the only person in this whole neighborhood with some food. Esau comes in and sees this soup and asks him for some. Of course, being a famine, food is not only scarce, but it's everything. Uh, I bet Esau in that moment thought that whoever had food was going to live and whoever didn't was just not going to live. So when he says, "What good is my birthright to me?" he doesn't have faith that he's going to make it through this famine. He doesn't have faith anybody's going to make it through this famine. And so he says, "Sure, give me the food. I'll sell you my birthright. We're not going to make it through this hard time." So Jacob takes him up on it, and he gives Esau his food in a famine. Now Jacob doesn't have any food because Esau ate it all, but he has this birthright. Which what that teaches us is that Jacob, unlike Esau, had hope that they were going to make it through this horrible famine. Jacob had faith that God would deliver them to the other side of this famine. And that is what separates Jacob from Esau. Esau was not a bad person. He was just a normal guy who thought that in a famine, if you don't have food, you're going to die. In a famine, there's nothing worth saving that's not food. And so he had no faith he would make it to the other side, but Jacob did. And Jacob was willing to go another day without food for the promise of this birthright, because he knew, he had faith in his heart that God would deliver them. And I think for us, being Bnei Israel, we're the children of Israel, the children of Jacob. That's our legacy. We are not, as you might think by Jacob's actions here, descended from somebody who, was always looking to trick. We are descended from the father of faith. We are descended from somebody who had faith that they would make it through hard times, and for us too, during this time, we should have faith too. To Shoshana Sadeh, who says, "But later he kills an animal." This is true. For anybody who eats meat, animals do have to die for that. I don't think this is, by the way, definitely an aside, but Shoshana, I invite you to email me about this. This is a struggle in the book of Genesis about animal life. And then we're going to go to Mariv, but just to Shoshana's comment, in the Garden of Eden, humans are supposed to be vegetarians. God gives man and animal alike all the green food to eat, but it's only after the flood, after Noah and Noah's generation, that God gives mankind permission to eat animals and to use animal goods. So whether or not there is a moral stain on humanity because we do use animal products, I think that is a tension in the Torah itself. The message I want you to get from this drash is not about animals, though, but it's about having faith and doing so even when it looks most dark. With that, Shabbat Shalom. We will continue with our evening service on page 39a with the Baruch Hu. Please rise. Oh, and Rabbi Judah Ahava Del Burgo. I'll mention Doris's name again at the end, at the last Mortar's Kaddish. Page 39a. Please rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. We're on page 39. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המריב הרעים. Page 40. אהבת סלם כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, והם נגלמה בלילה, ואהבתך תשים ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Okay, Layla, are you there? Hi.
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 Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Mobin family. Okay, Layla, our bat mitzvah this weekend, is going to lead us in the Shema, and Layla will be leading us in the V'ahavta as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's the V'ahavta.
Yeah.
Okay, Shema V'ahavta, and then Layla, I'll cue you when it's time for Laman Tizkaru.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll join together for the Shema, led by Layla Mobin.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Excellent. We'll give everybody a chance to read through the Shema on their own through the bottom of page 42. And then Layla, I'll cue you to lead us in the end of the third paragraph of the Shema Lama'an in just a moment. Okay, Layla, whenever you're ready, Lama'an.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Layla. Okay, I'll invite you to turn your video off again, and then we will, I'll call you back for Aleinu. We'll continue together on page 43a. Adonai Elohechem emet. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם, משה וניסו לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילתו ספר מלכותך ובניך, כמו קיים לפני משה זה אלי. אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי פדנו את יעקב וגלום יחזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 45, we continue with Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu, and Hashem in the kingdom of life. What's in this Hashem? Ushmor teitenu voenu lechaim l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch ata Adonai hapore sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Please rise for Vishamru, page 46. Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם היי ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה ועמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי וחיי חון וביומי חון וחיי דכל בית ישראל בגדלה בגדלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי המיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ותושבחתה ונחמתה למהירן בעלמה ואמרו amen. We'll continue with the quiet Amidah for the evening service for Shabbat, beginning on page 47 and ending on page 52. I'll invite you to take this time for your own Amidah or for the prayers in your heart. We'll take a few moments of private prayer and reflection. Page 47. If you have not yet completed your Amidah, please continue to do so at your own pace. Our service continues with Kaddish Halem and Aleinu on page 54. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברך יותם ימליך מלכותי בחיי חון ובימי חון ובחידו בישראל בגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי המיה יתברך Yitzbarach v'ishtabach v'yitzbar v'yitzbar v'naseh v'yitzadar v'yitzalei v'yitzalal shemei l'kudsha b'richu leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushmachata v'nechamata damira b'yama v'imru amen tikal ba'atzotanu v'atzonu chayisru kol v'hon v'ishmaya v'imru amen Yesh Lamarama min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom bin Romav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. I'll invite our bat mitzvah, Layla, to lead us in Aleinu. We'll turn to page 56 and rise as Layla leads us. Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגוי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווינו עומדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Thank you so much, Layla. All right. Well, Layla will invite you back for Kiddush and Motzi at the end. Thank you very much. We'll continue on our own through the end of Aleinu on page 57. הכתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. In addition to the names we read earlier for Mourner's Kaddish, we also add Doris del Borgo. We invite all those in a period of mourning to rise for Kaddish Atom for Mourner's Kaddish on page 58. Yitz Gadal ve'yitz Kadash Shmei Rabbah Be'alma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich Malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala v'izman kari ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitzbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitzpa'ar ve'yitzromam ve'yitnaseh. V'yitzadar ve'yitzaleh ve'yitzalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata namiran be'alma Imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bin Romav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Before Layla leads us in Kiddush and Motzi, a few announcements. Tomorrow morning, services begin at 9 a.m. on this very YouTube channel. I'll also mention that if you haven't joined, there is always a morning Torah study group that also begins at 9 o'clock called Torah at the Table. You can join remotely on Zoom on the link to which registration, I believe, is on sinaitemple.org in the schedule section. Tomorrow morning, I'll be teaching that. It's a great class. I'm a great group of learners, and I hope if you haven't tried Torah at the Table yet, you consider it for tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Havdalah is at 6:30, and Hasidut, the evening deep Torah class that I teach, starts at 7 p.m. So there's a lot of great learning happening. Go to sinaitemple.org to the schedule section to see even more. For Kiddush and Motzi, I'll invite Layla back on the screen. Grape juice and challah at hand. Ready to lead Kiddush and Motzi. All right. Looks like you got everything you need. Layla, you ready?
Yes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Oh, Borei Peri Hagafen. Sorry.
Okay, good. You know, you got the first part, you got the last part. You just had a couple words in between. But anyway, I mean,
Amen.
Amen.
take a sip, have some juice, calm down. It's your bat mitzvah weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready for motzi? This one is the hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Yeah, she's got this. Go ahead.
You got this.
Yeah, I want to do it with her.
Okay,
ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Nice. Okay.
Yay!
Way to go.
Yay!
Well, I am so thrilled for you. I'm so happy for you and your family. You can stay on for a second. We'll just sing Mazel Tov to you before we end tonight. And let's find a good key. Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov, Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov, Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov. Yehelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. I kind of wanted to go longer to see what other dance moves you were doing. Great. Okay. Good luck tomorrow. You're gonna do great.
Thank you.
Mazel tov to your whole family, and Shabbat Shalom to
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye.
Mary, you can peek in if you want to say hello. Hello. Mary's been
Hi. You guys look so similar.
I know. Well,
Oh my gosh. Mere copies of each other.
Well, I'm gonna stop streaming. I think that's good. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.